Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian. That's your name, right? Brian Nano.
So,
Hey, we're back on the turf today.
yes, we've looking forward to that. 3 races on the turf today, as you see up in the upper right-hand corner. It's a good turf course. I think we're ready to roll. Looking forward to a big weekend, and then obviously, Ron, a big Monday as well.
Yeah, just to note that the rail setting in those 3 races will be at 63 feet. So when you're handicapping, make sure you factor that in. And we got the Rainbow Six is going to start in race number 4. It's starting to build. We'll see how that plays out. Seems once we get it up to 300,000, some Sharpie hits it. Boy, they've been hitting it a lot this year. Hey, that's the beauty of the Rainbow Six. You know, it's only a 20-cent ticket. So with all that said, let's get right to this first race this afternoon, which is going to be a 1-mile turf event on a good turf course, maiden claiming filly 2-year-olds. We did have a couple of scratches there. Number 2, Magic Call, and the number 6 horse in here, Luminant. And Brian put together an early pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, none of those scratches affected this ticket here. It's $18. There were a scratch in race 2. Single, obviously, right off the rip. Top pick in race 2 is number 5, Grand Bay. 4 deep in the third. A little bit of a spread with Mouse Fast on top there. Another single of Spicy Ginger. I believe we do have a replay coming up. And then 3 deep in that turf race. Good turf race in race 5. Inhalation on top for me. Obviously, Principled Stand will be a short price in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to beat it with Uncle Curly today, the 3 horse. That's my long shot this afternoon. So, first race, you have the number 8. Let's start at the beginning of your single, and that is a Psychedelic. Woo! Dropping to this level today.
Okay. I don't know what that was about. We'll try to gather ourselves here. Take a look at a trainer stat for Kelsey Danner, who's been doing good things of late here. About a nice 2-week run for Kelsey. She won the stakes the other day. 6 for 32, 19%. Look at the big ROI. This is dirt to turf the last few years. And the maiden special weight races, Ronnie, in Virginia and Kentucky are just against much better than this daughter of Fantastic meets here, and I just think this is go time for this one. At probably a very short number. Fantastic.
Yeah, I always love when Kelsey Danner
Yes.
was the best kept secret around here, but everybody has jumped on the bandwagon over the last couple of years. She always comes to Gulfstream in the winter, and horses run fantastic. I did go with the 3 in here. It's currently 2-1 on the board right now, and that is always Royal. Is turning back to the mile. Look at his last race. His horse stalked the pace, finished 3rd. That was a turf debut, going a mile into 16th. Here last time out, Armando de la Cerda, Jose Ortiz returning on the daughter of Not This Time. I just thought this was logical, and you got it in second.
No, absolutely. I think this horse has a huge chance. I don't like that she didn't show a lot of speed last time, but the fact that she has a proven race right here at Gulfstream Park on the turf is a big deal.
Current 6-5 favorite is Turf Accountant, who's dropping to the 35 level. He turned and going back to the grass, going to put blinkers on. Followed that 3rd place, finishing in special weight competition on the grass. That was while in the Chad Brown barn. Poor showing on the Turfway all-weather surface. First race under the tutelage of Mike Maker. What do you get this afternoon?
I don't know. It's a good question, Ron, because obviously if you just want to say, you know what, she didn't handle the poly over there at Turfway, that's one thing. You look at her turf races, but now you can have her for 35. Mike puts blinkers on. At least Luis Saez is here. Oddly enough, it's impossible. They're 1 for 26 together at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, sometimes you look at that stuff and you just can't believe it. Could have been different factors that caused it. Race number 2 this afternoon is going to be about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Starter optional claimer for 2-year-olds started for 35 or less, or the optional tag of 35,000. These are the only 2 races on the day that have really, I think, affected some of the races here with the scratch of the 4 Face Barrio and the 6 Extendo. I did have Extendo on top of my ticket.
I had and I've always did have Grand Bay, so I mean I thought this was a solid win for Rayshon Creaky on debut. They bet this horse a little bit too, Ron. In a 9-horse field, this horse was down to 9-2. We like the job he does. Kevin Krieger, they put them together. They do some good work.
I want to show you the performance of Marley Luck, cutting back to 5 furlongs, recovered from a troubled start. You're going to see here, gets bumped in stretch this time. But I wanted to show both angles here because it doesn't look like much when you see the pan shot here, And just see a little bit of bump in there once and twice in the stretch, and the winner of that race got taken down. And then I just wanted to switch to the head-on, and I wanted to ask you a question. What you see right there, of course, I guess those 2 bumps had to come down. But if you look at the head-on, once, You know, and then really that was the only major one, a little one here. Now, did you think was
No
gonna-
is the answer to your question.
you know where I was going. See,
No.
no, it wasn't bad, right?
No, I
That's
didn't
what I'm saying. I wanted to show both angles just
Yeah.
because of that. Fausto Gutierrez, Miguel Vasquez in the aisle, you know, finished second before being elevated up. I just thought he finished second last time out.
I agree. Now, with that being said, he ran a winning race, and he ran, faster than anybody. So I get it, but in that instance, no, I did not think that.
Yeah,
warranted it.
and the one Christensen, was a maiden special weight winner on the defeated 2 starts back drops. He got outrun, but that was a 75 optional claim is going 5 on the turf. Antonio Sano, Jose Morelos he's using. That find that interesting
Yeah,
today.
good to see Jose winning races. He's a good young rider, always with a smile on his
Oh, I
face.
forgot. I wanted to show Sam's early pick 4 ticket.
Yeah,
Do
we can
have
take a
one?
peek at
We
that.
can take a peek at that. So she went with 257 here. I think those are the logical ones. In race number 4, she's got her single in there, and she's going with the 5 horse in there, Spicy Ginger,
Yeah.
which is a logical contender. Race number 5, she got my long shot, Uncle Curly. She got good coverage in there, and it's only a $9 ticket.
Good. I like those short tickets because, as we've said, since we've been putting these pick 4s out, these are kind of tickets you can punch a couple times.
Right, exactly. And if you want to add another horse, it goes up to 18. It's
Yes.
not very, it's very affordable, I should say. Race number 3 this afternoon, 6.5 furlongs maiden, claiming 2-year-olds, 12-5. No scratches, jockey changes. And you started it off with Mouse Fast, who's dropping a level after showing some speed and fading in its 16 debut.
Well, I think that's a significant part. We did show speed. We dueled on debut. I'm not quite sure he's going to have to work quite as hard today. You know what? Luis Saez, who rode on debut, sticks around too. And I'm just going to beat you to the pot here, Ronnie. I don't want anything to do with Easy as ABC.
Yeah.
He was my best bet last time. I thought he was about 6-5 in the race. They sent him off at almost 9.5, 9-2, and he didn't run at all.
Well, he's free-falling today, of
Yes.
course, to the 12.5 level. And I like the fact that they're adding blinkers. Failed to show much, as you mentioned. Going 7, Kelly Breen, Paco Lopez, son of Arrogate. Would I single this horse anywhere? No, absolutely not. Would I take even money? Probably not, but I can understand you. And then we both went with the number 6 horse in here. And this one dropping a level. He finished the workman third behind Mouse Fast last time out.
The beauty of this race is if you don't like the 4, you will get value on everybody else because he's evens on the morning line, and they're going to bet him. They're going to bet these connections again.
Well, we're going to take a short break right now. And then we're going to come back, and I'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
This is a championship meet. Yeah. All the best jockeys in the world are here, and I'm excited to ride against them.
We back.
And you get to watch some really incredible, talented athletes out there.
Yeah.
To us, it's a place to be in the winter.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the racing.
The palm trees, the beach is right here. The horse racing is some of the best in the country.
A lot of good horses come out of here. And if you want to go to the next level, Gulfstream Park was the place to come.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place. All the history. And all these great horses, trainers, jockeys. It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Welcome back to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti. If you're just joining us, Brian Nadeau is to my left, your right. We are back on the turf. The turf course is listed as good. The Rainbow 6 starts in race number 4. And I put a $43.20 ticket together. And we'll talk about the 4th race in a minute. I got my long shot in race number 5. It's the 3 Uncle Curly. But as Brian mentioned when he was talking about Principal Stan is going to take all the money in there. I also used Border Town in that race. Race number 6, I like Dream On Baby on top. But I went with Triple Start and change order Sonny as my 2 picks. Race number 7. Dr. Post coming off a long layoff. I got to use endorsed in there too. My single today comes in race number 8, and it is the one Detroit City, Jack Sisterton. This one going back to the turf today. Lots of coverage in race number 9 for me. For me, top pick is the inside horse Cosmic Speculation, Joe Arcino with Arad Ortiz Jr. But I got nice coverage. If I get that far, I like to have that little bit of a bumper, in the final race.
I like it. Joe reaching out for IRAD is pretty significant there. Not something you see all too often.
Well, Spicy Ginger, I think you had single two in there, and so did Samantha. So I want to go back and show you this horse's race at Aqueduct. First, we're going to show you the head-on of the start, which she gets bumped. She got bumped around pretty good in here. She, a couple of times in there. You're going to see her. She is the number 8 horse. It just gets, one of those old sandwiches there a couple of times, and, sort of got to regather yourself. And I thought this horse ran really good from the 8th pole home. She finishes second. Hey, she was 13-1 that day.
She would not be 13-1 today. She ran very, very well. She handled the turf. Can we handle the Tapeta? Obviously, that's the question. But, Ronnie, all things being equal, she's a month the best of this field, at least off that race.
I'm sorry, Brian. That was on the turf. Yeah. This was the Tapeta,
right.
Last time. So just wanted you to know that. And like Brian said, we all have it. I didn't have it single, but certainly Brian and Samantha did. The number 3 Wildcat Star is making her first start since coming within a neck of defeating those maidens going 5.5 on the Tapeta some 9 months ago for Jose Garofalo.
Ron, it was a good effort, and we've seen this in the past where the house horse kind of sometimes wins these races. As good as Spicy Ginger looks in this field, and let's just be honest, that race last time, that's about 5 lengths better than anybody in here can do. She still has to prove it on the Tapeta, whereas Wildcat Star for Jose Barn that's overdue to get going, we know she can do it here.
The number 8 horse in Yave Phoenix has been knocking on the door in consecutive Tapeta sprints against similar. So I just think a spot on the ticket is okay for Try Supers.
Yeah, she could get a piece of this, right? I think a win might be slightly out of her reach. She needs a lot of these to come back to her, but she can get a piece.
And trainer Monica Mago's got the apprentice Jaime Torres, so he get a little bit of a break in the weights this afternoon. Race number 5 this afternoon is going to be 1 mile on the turf, and this one is claimed as 3 and up, 35,000 down to 25,000. Once again, turf is listed as good as we start today, and Samantha put together late pick 5 tickets. Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. $18. I like these condensed tickets, 3x3 early double. I know her and I have the same best bet of the day, and that's the one endorsed. We think it's the right time to beat Dr. Post, and she's a 2x2 late double. Dr. Duke, who I like in that spot as well, and then Full Disclosure, and then Cosmic Speculation, who I know you mentioned, and certainly Bernardo's Legacy is going to hit hard on the drop.
Yeah, those two are the logical one. $18, very affordable in this 5th race. Also has the scratch of the number 8 Universal Payday. I'll go to my long shot, Uncle Curly, who's 6 for 21 in the money on the Gulfstream Park turf. Now, fresh off that allowance victory at the Meadowlands, let's go back and check it out. And I thought it was, this horse was pretty impressive. You're going to see Uncle Curly there. And I just thought this horse, now you have to realize this horse started from post 10. Somehow, and always Paco got this horse to the inside. I thought it was a pretty workmanlike performance. You can't miss this horse, the gray, going in the inside. And I just thought it was a good performance. And you're still saying, well, this horse isn't going to get there, it isn't going to get there. And, of course, the strong finish by Paco gets up. As I mentioned, started from an outside post position. Thought it was a good performance. You're getting a little bit of a price today, 10-1 with Paco Lopez.
And you're coming off a win, and I think that's significant, too. And this is probably one of those lateral moves, a 1X at the Meadowlands into 35, pretty grizzled claimers here at Gulfstream Park. But that was a pretty strong effort, like you said, from a wide draw.
You did have the number 1 Inhalation, the British bred from Orlando Noda. I almost made this horse my long shot this afternoon.
I'm looking at your picks, and you're looking at my picks. I kind of feel like we just didn't want to pick the 4.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got something to do with it. And you're going to get value. I'm going to get a little bit of it. I thought it was significant to see Luis Saez ride for Orlando Noda, if you're not familiar with, wins races up in New York. Now we're stretching out. We got to get an extra turn here, and that's obviously the question mark, because you look at this horse's form. They're all one-turn races. But if Principled Stan, the favorite, goes, Luis is going to set up shop, hopefully right to his outside. We're seeing speed carry on this turf course, and I think Inhalation is going to be close throughout.
Well, the number 4, as we mentioned, is going to be the big favorite, Principled Stan. The British bred is dropping to the 35 level, stretching out to its best distance. 3 races with 2 wins at the distance. Showed some speed and faded late against those 80 optional claimers sprinting on the grass at Belmont and at Saratoga. Chad Brown reaches out for Arad Ortiz Jr. top. It's a likely race 5-year-old.
We've talked about this with Todd Pletcher. We talk about it with Chad Brown. These are horses that don't fit, Hall of Fame-esque kind of trainers with Eclipse Awards, and this is one of them. You want to try to beat this horse? We both tried to do it. Take a look at the stat here I pulled up. It's a little scary now. Trying to beat this horse, Ron. 9 for 13. That's 69%, by the way, in these middle-level claimers turf routes the past 5 years. What that says is, while you look at these horses and you say, oh, you know what, they're damaged goods, we want them out of, we're trying to get rid of them. Not necessarily the case. It just is what it is right now for a barn like this. Principal Stan's going to take a lot of beating, and he's going to take a lot of catching, too.
The number 5, Bordertown, is debuting locally after a successful recent campaign in which he won on the Delmont turf. He followed that with a third-place finish against optional claimers. That was up at Laurel. Then a victory against 40 optional claimers, going a mile on the Indiana Grand turf in his last. Mike Maker, Jose Ortiz. This horse runs everywhere and runs well everywhere.
He does. If you're looking to shave one off the ticket, to me, it's him, because he has no speed whatsoever. That's going to make for a tough go of it here on this turf course.
And we are going to go to race number 6 this afternoon. It's a 1-mile maiden optional claimer for 2-year-olds, and that optional claiming price is $50,000. No scratches in the race, and Brian's got a late pick 4 ticket put together, and we'll check it out.
Yeah, it's $6, by the way. Yeah, oh, there you go. Single right off the rip. 4 deep in race 8, which includes my long shot City Mischief, and then 3 deep in the finale. I just missed using the 1. If you want to make it $8, if you can afford the extra $2, you can put Cosmic Speculation that Ronnie mentioned, and certainly is in with a chance. $6.
$6, boy, you and Smith, you only have to come to the track with about $8 to have a successful day here. So good going for you guys. The 8th race, 6th race, I should say, already got us in the 8th race. Dream On. I went with Dream On Baby, the number 2 horse in here, Brian. But let's go to yours, because you singled, and that is Triple Start, hoping to make amends today.
Yeah, I mean, it's Pletcher on the drop, and it was a lot like the last race we just talked about with Chad Brown on the drop. Just maybe time to move on from these horses. Take a look at a trainer stat for Todd in this kind of arena, so to speak. This is a maiden special weight dropper to maiden claimers in dirt routes here the past 5 years. Overall, 6 or 17, 44%. So again, like in the last race, these are not horses that can't run. It's just maybe time to move on. I think Triple Start on this drop, Ronnie, is going to be really tough against this type of group.
Gee, only 44%.
That's all.
Yeah. I did go with Dream On Baby, stretching out to a 1-turn mile. Responded to both the drop-down surface switch and the addition of blinkers with a second-place finish. It was at this level, going 7/8 on the main track. It's Ralph Nix, Lionel Reyes handling the added distance today. I liked that performance last time out. 6-1 on the morning line. I would not fade this horse too much. Triple Start for all the reasons that you mentioned. Then you went to the inside with the 1 horse in here, and that is Devil's K, and this one from David Forksbaum.
You know, Paco on a speed horse here, on a horse that showed speed against maiden special weights. Now we take the big drop here down inside. It's a send mission. Listen, if Triple Start it can't, maybe can't run, we'll see. You get a horse like this brave up front.
Yeah, and David Forks about 30% thereabouts with horses, maidens making their second start. The number 4 I just wanted to touch on, and that's Change Order Sonny, who's a Son of United debuting for this one from Mike Maker, Tyler Gaffleone named to ride in that. It should be enough to pique your interest a little bit. I think you watch the tote action.
Yes.
You're going to see all these horses taking money. It is more wide open than you would think, just the way you look at first blush at this race.
Yeah, their dams had 9 foals. 2 of them did win on debut, so the 4 could be a little precocious.
Race number 7 this afternoon, and this one is 7 furlongs allowance optional claimer 3-year-olds and up, or the optional tag of $62,500. This is the feature race, and Dr. Post is a multiple graded stakes winning son of Quality Road, who's undefeated at Gulfstream Park. We're going to go back, a long time ago, back to 2020, show the top of the stretch home when he breaks free to win. He was very impressive that day, and this is going back a long time. It's just a little window dressing to show you how well this horse has run at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, he's a very, very talented horse, as Ronnie mentioned, a multiple graded stakes winner. He's grade 1 stakes placed. Doing it long, though, and he is 2 for 2 at Gulfstream Park, too. So those are all the positives. The negatives, obviously, we haven't seen him in, 13 months. And you look at all those recent races, a mile and an eighth, a mile and a quarter. I'm pretty sure Todd Pletcher isn't really too concerned about today.
He's banked $887,000, this horse in here. And of course, figures on the what have you done lately angle when he stretches out to the 7/8 of a mile.
Yeah, Endorse certainly is my best bet of the day. Sam's as well. And I just think the recency edge on Dr. Post, and the other thing is not only a tactical edge, but the fact that he's going to like 7 furlongs, I think a lot more than Dr. Post.
Yeah, you know, he was second in that protected $100,000 optional claimer, going 6.5 on the Keeneland main track for Mike Tyler. Grade 2 stakes place, son of a Dr. Doro. You know, I had to give a little love to Chivalry in here. He's back locally, returned from the layoff at Tampa. He finished that screw-tightening fifth against Florida Breds. That was the 7 furlong Marion County. I just think this horse can be on the try somewhere. I think the logical, if Dr. Post runs its race, he wins. And Doris certainly has the equality, you know, the ability to win too.
Wow, Chivalry's such a cool old dude. Ralph's done such a good job with him. He's over $500,000 in the bank too.
Race number 8 this afternoon, 5 furlongs on the turf. Allowance, optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up. The optional claiming price is $25,000. Scratch both also is 11 and 12. And I got my best bet in here, and that's Detroit City, the number 1. And I'll tell you why. This one is returning to the turf, following that willing third against 50 starter optional claimers, going 6 furlongs. Now that was on the Del Mar turf. I thought ran exceptionally well here. Went second against 50 starter optional claimers, going 5.5 on the Tapeta. I think Jack Sisterton spots this son of Dialed In. Here's the part I like. I think the 25 level hits this one right in the eye.
Yeah, Jack's done a good job with this horse. He's got some talent. He's got some versatility. As you mentioned, at Santa Anita ran very, very well against, you know, probably similar, maybe even a little bit better. Going to have to work out a trip down there on the inside. That was my only little concern.
And you have your long shot in here, I
Yeah,
think?
I don't know what you're going to get on City Mischief. He had a trip and a half last time. He was my long shot that day. He was best. There's just no doubt about it. He should have won that race. Now he's going from Tapeta to turf. He's also going second off a layoff that was 10 months, and he does have a little turf form in a win on the turf. He should be a decent enough price. Just give me clear sailing. I'll take my chances with him.
Yeah, you know, so you had, as you mentioned, that rough trip last time out and was only beating the neck in that race. The number 7 horse in here, Not Far Now, is debuting locally after dueling for Lee Weekend to finish 5th, was actually a roughly run race, but he didn't have any trouble in there when he got bumped up to 4th. That was against New York bred, optional claimers going 6. It's Orlando Noda, Jose Ortiz at top, the American Pharaoh gelding.
Ron, I know these turf sprints play to speed. This is wild speed in this race. You got Paco on King Cab, Not Far Now. Your horse is going to have to go a little bit. Always hopeful. There is so much speed in here. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in the stretch.
Yeah, so, and you know, what about the number 4, Dr. Duke, who I had a little further down?
Well, he's one of the others, you know, that I think benefits. He comes out of a 3rd in the Grade 3 Turf Monster at Parks. Now, it's a quirky turf course at Parks, admittedly, and it's got a lot more give, and it can be a little more conducive to off-the-pace types here. Dr. Duke's got some talent, and he's going to be closing.
You know, the 3, Meet Me in Kingston, is debuting on the turf, returned from the layoff, finished that duel and fade 6th against his level, going 6 on the main track. Todd Pletcher, 21% dirt to turf angle. Arad's in the saddle today. Surface switch. Does this one also have to go to the lead?
There's the wall, and I think they're hoping something sticks to it because I just don't see this horse at all today. He was 2-1 last time, and he didn't run at all on the dirt, and he's never tried the turf.
Mark that down. What you say?
Hard no.
Mark that down. If this one wins, we'll have a lot of fun. A lot of fun, a lot of fodder, I should say, for fun later on. Let's go to race number 9 this afternoon. 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. A maiden claim is 2-year-olds, $35,000. Jockey change on the 3. Make the rider Victor Hernandez. And you went with the number 8 in here, Bernardo's Legacy. Who drops today to the 35 level?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to bet this horse at 2-1, but on the maiden special weight drop, 6 maiden special weight races, and now we're going to be in for a tag for 35. The blinkers go on. We get Luis Saez, the old kind of go angle today.
I like the changes on the number 1 Cosmic Speculation, returning to the maiden claiming ranks, cutting back to 5 furlongs with blinkers added, set the pace tired late, and back-to-back races going a mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. Joe Orsino, Arad Ortiz handling the classic turn-back move. Got to do it from the rail, but.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right, to see where he's placed in this race. I know he showed speed coming out of those routes, but this is a whole different kind of ball game. See what Irad does. The blinkers might sharpen him up, too.
And the number 2, Mr. American, second going this distance, 2 starts back at the 25 level, turns back, rallied to finish 3rd, going 5.5. Wasn't a bad performance. Kathy Ridfo, Junior Alvarado handling the turn back.
Yeah, those are races that are probably good enough to at least put him right in the mix against a group like this today.
Well, we got about over $55,000 already in the Pick 5 pool, but we are not done yet because we have our lightning round. And, of course, this is an exciting time of year when just around the corner we're going to have the opening of the championship meet both here and at Santa Anita. And look what they're doing on the Santa Anita on the opening day here. They're going to have a $1 million Pick 6 jackpot guarantee. That is opening day, December 26th, along with our opening day.
Big balloons out there, and our sister track in both cards, and we'll talk about it in a second. Both cards have been drawn, so get those red pens out and scuff up.
Blue pens out, whatever your thing is. What's your best bet today?
Best bet today is endorsed in race 7, an exciting race, a championship meet kind of race with Dr. Post coming back too.
And my best bet, I'm going with a 7-2 shot, Detroit City for Jack Sisterton. And your long shot today?
Next race, race number 8, City Mischief for me.
City Mischief for you. And my long shot, it comes a little earlier in the day. It's Uncle Curly, 10-1 on the grass, the number 3 horse in that day. And we got a really interesting horse returning on Friday here, and that is Expressman. I want to go back and show you this horse's performance back at Saratoga on this day. And Brian will tell you, if you're a buyer aficionado, this one got a 107 buyer in this race.
And that's his stablemate he's beating too, actually, the couple entries. So what Expressmen are we going to get tomorrow, Ronnie, because he did not run a 107 in his next start?
Well, he did finish second in front of a couple of next down winners. I just wanted to point it out. He's going to be an overwhelming favorite in there, and that's Todd Pletcher. That is our Friday feature. And then opening day, of course, as Brian mentioned, we both drew these races, 71-day championship meet, and there it is with we got a pair of $100,000 stakes races on Monday.
Yeah, looking forward to getting it all started. So we come back, don't forget, Monday, as we do that for the first time this year, and we'll be back Wednesday as well. And a good segue to this, there's a calendar giveaway.
Yeah, we got the calendar giveaway, and of course, certainly good to have the calendar giveaway on there so you know
13-month calendar.
What month it is, because when we start going 5 days a week, we lose track of time because we're having so much fun, and that'll also be on opening day, and I think there's 13 months in that calendar this year.
13-month calendar.
So that is how we see it. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello. Remember that horse that he said I was throwing things against the wall? If it wins, he's in big trouble.
We're ready for the start. They're off.